I've got one question for you. Are you ready to get your game on?
The longest-running off-road and action motorsports radio show on the planet is coming to you live with the biggest guest in motorsports. Here is the only man on the planet who can pack this much dirt slinging and tire slaying into 2 hours a week. Sit back, strap in, and be prepared to get your ears blown. Here is Jim Beaver and the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. This is the Terracross edition of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. That's right, Terracross Radio out here at rounds 1 and 2 of the 2015 Terracross National Championship, Del Mar, California. Here to my left in the booth, Chad Colby, announcer for Terracross. You've been around with this series for quite some time, and I got to tell you, this morning, just through the practice, pretty entertaining, and I was definitely a part of that.
You know, one of the great things about Terracross is it's it's a unique sport, type of motorsports, because we're all the riders are on the same machine. We're on a 2016, the baddest buggy, if you would, in side by side the Polaris Razor, and I'll tell you what, we had quite a show at practice. Now, Jim, I've got to go down this road, and listeners, you can't see the look on his face, but right now, it's kind of priceless because, Jim, how was your practice session? Maybe I'll start it off with that.
Practice was cut a little short, my friend. No, it definitely cut short and came up short, and I guess we can insert the. I was following Levi LaValle, so there's insert another short joke. Poor
Yes.
Levi gets them coming all the time, but no, it was. I'm sure if you haven't seen the videos online or the pictures, I had one of the most spectacular. Crashes so far today, and came up short on the double and went end over end a few times, and a little sore, but they've got my Polaris Razor 1000 back ready to go, and going to roll her out here in a little bit and do a little more practicing. Got some qualifications and heat races later on today.
Friends, if you're on social media, which I know most of you are, if you go to the Terracross Championship Facebook page, there is literally probably 50 photos of some of the most intense action of machines that we've done in years. I happen to be standing in the right place with a high-quality Nikon camera with the shutter on high, and lo and behold, Jim started it off with a spectacular maneuver, and there's a lot of, positions that didn't look favorable. I think that's the right way to say that, Jim.
Yeah, I will say I wasn't alone in entertainment today. I know Jason Ellis, he's a good friend of mine, and obviously a fellow radio host, and they were saying that radio hosts probably shouldn't be racing razors. Wow, we're looking at pictures right now on Terracross's Facebook, and you definitely need to skip over there, Terracross Championship, check them out. But you've been with this series a while. Obviously this is I did some winter Terracross with the boys, and this first I guess non-snow Terracross I've done, but last year it was the same thing. I mean, this is built to entertain, and it definitely does that.
It's a great series because I don't want to say you take the mechanic out of this, because you do get to set your shocks and do a couple things, but it truly puts it in the driver's hands, and that's what's unique about Terracross. All the drivers are running stock buggies. I mean, it's stock suspension outside of an adjustment here or there or tire pressure. After that, it's grab a fistful of throttle and go have fun. And it is very intense, and we have literally just got started. We had a practice session in the afternoon. Most importantly, everybody's safe, I should say that. And honestly, all the machines drove away. Nobody had some major damage. Obviously, when you endo machines, you have some issues with little things like
the bumpers,
and a few cosmetic things. But guys just with big smiles on their faces. Yeah. So, and maybe a little pride. Probably got damaged just a tick here and there, Jim. Yeah. But it happens.
Well, everybody has their day in the spotlight. Today, I guess, was definitely mine. Not the way I wanted it to happen, but it did. And we'll get on with life. And every once in a while, you run out of talent. Today, I woke up without mine. So hopefully, it comes to me later this afternoon. But so far, we're definitely definitely lacking on the talent. I guess I'll make up for it at the next one.
There you go.
But
so, Jim, what do you think about Terracross? I mean, you've been around power sports your whole life, and you've seen everything, no different than I have, from racing all types of things. What do you think of it?
Yeah, Terracross is interesting, because I want to, I consider myself a decent driver. I mean,
right.
I'm not saying I'm the best, but I can hold my own in desert racing. And this is something different. I mean, it's a different animal. And even guys that are very good at racing razors, whether it be in the desert and,
right.
Work series possibly and some of that. I mean, you come in here and this is different. It fuses so many different elements. And I think that's what makes it great. And you've got guys, I mean, you've got the action sports guys and, the Colton Moores and the Twitches and, now you've got, the R.J. Andersons and Mitch Guthries that are diehard,
right.
And Brandon Sims, who we're going to interview here in a second. And then Chad Ragland, who he's a trophy truck guy like me. And Jason Ellis. I mean, it's such a fusion of different personalities and skill sets. And it's interesting to see, who comes out on top.
Well, I think it's fun for the viewers of Terracross, and you can check it out on CBS Sports and obviously listen to Jim's great program here. What's unique about it is we put you all in the same cage, and we give you all the same buggy, and that really levels the field. And that, to me, is what makes it really exciting.
Yeah, well, and I completely agree with you. It's that's the draw to this series, I think, for a lot of guys. Show up, and everybody has the exact same equipment. Nobody can outspin somebody in this motorsport.
Yes.
Well, some of us can outspin, I guess, on repair damage, but,
Jim.
I think I'm leading the field there, Between me and Ellis is probably going to be a tight it's going to be a tight battle this year. We'll see.
Oh, that's not the way that's supposed to go.
I'm poking fun at myself, and what can you do? You got to be able to after something like that. But
that's exactly right.
Yeah, but speaking of the personalities, you got Chad Ragland, Brandon Sims over here, and I'm going to see if we can grab them. Hey, Brandon, Chad, let's get over here and get an interview. We're going to draw some of these guys in and talk about some diverse personalities in this sport. We'll get them mic'd up here in a second and get them to sit down. But we've got Chad Ragland, who his dad, absolute legend in motorsports, and Brandon Sims, who UTV world champion at the table. I mean, you want to talk about two guys that come from different backgrounds. Coming in here, obviously Chad, you similar background to me. Obviously, you're faring better than I am, but trophy truck, and how's the transition been to you? To the Razors.
This is a tough course of all the ones that we have to do. This one's has the steepest jumps, probably the most jumps. So
right.
I'm out of my element more so than I think in the other ones. I like a little bit more high speed stuff where we can kind of carry more momentum. This one's definitely technical. And I'm certainly not the fastest guy out there, so I got a lot of work cut out ahead of me. But it's fun. I mean, this is, it's very good racing. If you want a good show, we're going to put one on.
Yeah. Well, how about you, Brandon? I mean, obviously, you can hold your own in a razor. You walked away. You're one of only two guys that can call yourselves the world champions this year. Big win earlier this year at the UTV World Championship. But that was desert racing. How is it out here? Running Terracross.
I feel like it's good to be diverse in all kinds of racing, so I try to do as much of this kind of racing. I think it helps my desert racing, which is what I really shoot for. That's where all my pride and everything goes, is into my desert racing program. So I figure anytime I'm in a car, getting this kind of time underneath my belt, the competitive nature that everybody has in this style racing, I feel like it helps my desert program a ton. There's lots of certain spots, where you need that competitive advantage that you get racing this kind of this series, And I've also tried a little bit of the Works this year. Did well there, podiumed in Works, and I've done a few other races, and I'm almost in my razor almost every weekend, putting time on it and just enjoying it, So I got a lot of seat time, and anytime I get the opportunity to do this kind of event, I'm more than, willing and wanting to do it just so I can up my program. I feel like it can't hinder it at all.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and Chad, back at you, you've been involved in off-road racing since you were born. I mean, your dad, an absolute, legend of the sport. I mean, how have you seen the Razor and the UTV movement? I mean, it's it's crazy. I mean, when we were growing up, I mean, it just, how do you get time in the desert? You go out and pre-run. It was now with razors, I mean, it's really opened the door for so many things. I mean, it's revolutionized the power sports industry, the off-road industry. I mean, you yourself are now a business owner in the UTV industry.
I'm committed now. I'm all in. It's changed a ton, and like you said, when it was time to go play in the desert, you had a dirt bike.
Right.
Or you had a pre-runner. My dad was the first one that ever built a tubular truck-style A-arm, with a solid axle rear tubular pre-runner. He was the very first guy. Everyone else, Parnelli had them, but they were basically just taking a stock, frame and working around it. And that was so expensive, but if you wanted to go play, so, I mean, I was immediately out of it until I could afford that, and I still can't afford it. But, that's what the Razor's done. It's allowed us now to go, out and pre-run and play and have fun and race, all together. I mean, that's how diverse this vehicle is. So, no, it's opened up the doors to a lot more of an audience for off-road racing.
I think one thing I would add, too, I think is crazy cool about the Razor is, and you guys with your backgrounds especially, is no joke. Minus some beadlock tires and just a few little things, this is not sales pitch. You buy this thing at the showroom, you take it out and go have some fun.
Listen, all they have to do is go look at the pictures and the video that they're already posting from this thing. And we're sending these things, over huge gaps, and they're completely stocked.
Crazy.
They got to realize that.
Yeah.
We really are.
Yeah.
Well, and I can speak for the safety feature on a stock Razor. I mean, not only are we doing some amazing stuff out there, but definitely the safety Polaris is packaged in. I mean, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, we're having this conversation after one single practice already, and you're not alone out there, Jim.
Yeah,
there's been lots of carnage.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, with you, Brandon, I mean, how did you get involved in UTV racing? We know Chad's background and, and how he's got involved in off-road racing and stuff. I mean, what door opened to you to get, you involved in UTV racing?
I've been part of the power sports era since I was super young. My dad got me into it, racing quads and dirt bikes. And it got to the point where we went to the sand dunes, since the age I was, 1 or 2 years old. And we were at the sand dunes 5, 6, 10 times a year and on the quads. And then I had an opportunity in 2006. One of our customers, we own an auto shop, and one of our customers came to me and asked me if I wanted to be a part of his quad or his pro quad Baja 1000 team. And I said, I don't know, but I'll go for it. I'll take the shot.
Had you had really any experience or any knowledge about Baja
Nope.
before that?
Never been down to Baja. And so we jumped in with both feet. The guy, we had a 2004 Raptor, I want to say it was, and we entered into the pro class. And we got some maps from McMillan when we were sitting there at camp, and because we were in an RV, so we were sitting there.
You got good ones because they always had nice ones. And they are generous.
They had a good maps for us, and we didn't know how we were going to do it. We just knew that certain people were getting on the quad. That was a year that it was like 1,045 miles.
Yep.
It was
wow.
It was Ensenada to La Paz, and I got on the quad at 5 p.m. and I rode till 8 the next morning.
Good for you.
So I was beat. Halfway through that race, I was like, man, I just wish this thing would break down. I could get off, build a fire, lay down, and take a break.
Did you guys finish?
We finished 6th in pro quad.
Yeah.
None of us had ever been
What
before.
time did you guys finish?
34 hours, something like that.
Wow. I was real drunk when you came across.
Yeah.
That was a great course.
Yeah, that was the first thing that really got me into the big racing. After that, we were building sand rails and doing the sand rail thing for a while. Then my dad went out and bought a Polaris Ranger in 2003, I think it was, the very first, I guess at that point, utility terrain vehicle.
Right.
Yeah. And I put Fox shocks on it. I did a whole bunch of cool stuff to it that I thought was going to be rad, and it was rad, back then.
Yeah.
That was the machine to have.
Yeah.
And then a year or two later, the Rhino came out and just blew my doors off in that thing. And I went, I got to get a Rhino. My dad's like, well, I'm not buying one. I said, fine, I'll buy one. I was still pretty young. I'm like 18 trying to, just get whatever I can at that time. I'm still, just finishing up high school. So I went and bought my first Rhino. And from that point on, it just was downhill. I just went and bought, long travel. And then I raced all the local races because I live in Arizona. Whiplash was a pretty big local racing organization that was affordable, So I did that for 3-4 years and won a championship there. And then I also did this other one called Grinding Stone and raced my Rhino in that and won a championship there. And then, I told my dad I wanted to race Best in Desert, and I saved up some money as much as I could. And I had a pretty good chunk put away that I thought was a pretty good chunk, Went and bought a XP 1000 because that was the newest thing out. And went and built the whole car at my shop and did everything I could and went and did, every race, which was last year, I podiumed every race except for one. So that leads into this, and it's, I got some great partners with me that take very good care of me. And, it's allowed me to broaden my horizons and let me do stuff like this. And it's been amazing. So, yeah.
Between that quad race and the 1,000 and the 1,000 last year, did you race any in between?
I did the Baja 500 last year, and on my own program, got second.
Yeah.
So last year I got second at the Baja 500 in my car, and then I went and raced with Johnny Angel at UTV Inc., and we placed first. So last year we did very well in score as well.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah. Well, and how was it for you? I mean, your career and stuff like that. I mean, obviously, UTV World Championship debut year, to take home a win there. I mean, how has that been after that? I mean, what is the, what is, I don't know, I don't want to say collateral damage, but I mean, what's been the fallout from that?
Well,
endless supply of girls. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Us off-road guys, we always bring them in, right?
Of course. It's all about glory.
Yeah. Up until that race, I hadn't had a win. I was always that guy that was in second or third, always. And it was always because I had an issue right at the end. I'd lead the whole race almost, and then I'd blow a tire at the end or some issue, that's kept me from that win. And finally, I always told everybody, if I have that perfect race, I'll get first. I can guarantee it, and that race, it all came together. And since then, it just, everything is just, this year's going by so quick. I mean, I can't even slow it down if I tried. Every month, I'm racing 1 to 2 times a month, and it's awesome. It's an awesome thing to complain about, that I'm so busy that I have no time except for to race, and
right.
It's an awesome thing, So as far as, how it's ever since winning that race, it's just been crazy. I'm on phone calls and just new doors are opening everywhere, which is awesome, Yeah.
Very cool. Well, and how about you, Chad? I mean, this is, how many years you've been doing Terracross? Is
that
third?
Third.
You've been around for pretty much
since the beginning.
Yeah, since the beginning. I mean, how have you seen this sport evolve? I mean, the sport of Terracross.
Well, unfortunately, the competition's gotten a lot better. Yeah. No, it's tough. There's very few guys that are not going real fast, and so and I now when you say it, people know it. When I first did Terracross, there was what, and you had to explain. Now they know. Right. We've had enough exposure. People get it. They know what it is. They know it's Supercross with razors, and so I see it growing that way, and it's just going to continue again because it's a great show. We get a good turnout, put a lot of talented guys behind the wheel, and then they put a good show on.
Yeah. Well, how's it been for your business? I mean, obviously, CageWorks is a big part of the series. It's a big part of your razor program here. I mean, how has that been building your business?
I think it's been real beneficial. I didn't. I'm not one of those guys that has a big 10-year game plan on what they're going to do with their life. I think it's better to be able to be flexible and take advantage of an opportunity. And I saw an opportunity in the UTV market where people were just, it was hard to get aftermarket parts. You were waiting so long, you were paying a lot, and I found a different way to do it. So I think anytime I'm out here promoting it and getting the word out, and people are aware that I'm with CageWorks, it helps. At least it adds validity. Okay. And I am running my radius rods on about 4 cars out here, and they've got my bumpers on about 4. So it's good.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I appreciate you guys, taking time to sit down with an interview.
Is your vehicle going to get put back together?
It's already ready to roll.
All right.
Not right.
Literally?
You know what, though? I got a leg up on everybody, right? I've already rolled off the big jump, the one that everybody's worried about coming in.
It's true. You did it on the biggest
done that,
one.
and I walked away. If I do it again, it's no big deal.
That's true. That's true. All right. Well, thanks for having us.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
All right, that was Brandon Sims, Chad Ragland, and good guys, and it's great about sport of Terracross, filled with just a lot of good people and people that have been around, and, some new kids and veterans, and just a good mix of everybody.
The other good thing about Terracross is the roll cage. I think that's real good, too.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, talking with Levi, earlier, and he goes, he's like...
That's exactly...
it's funny because I'm sitting here and I'm 34, and Levi, I think he's probably pretty close to my age.
Yep,
we sit there and, I show up to a desert race, and I'm the old guy.
Yeah.
Levi shows up to a snowmobile race, and he's the old guy. And it's weird to think... it's just weird to think, that we're the old, Chad, as he walks out, goes, I got 10 years on you, but it's funny because I've been around so long, and I don't consider myself old, but I guess, looking at some of these kids like the Mitch Guthries that are out here, and it's like, man, I guess I am the old guy,
The best part was I was visiting with Levi, and I know Levi from snowmobiling, of course, and Levi brought some boat cushions. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw he was laughing. He's like, I gotta,
so he could sit on, because Levi is not maybe the tallest guy there at camp, and
he's got one of the biggest personalities.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yes, very much so. But you know what? It's been a fun day. There's a huge amount of people here. Like many guys, we're from the Midwest. I'm from the Midwest, and when you say fair in Illinois and Iowa, it's nothing. When you say fair in San Diego, it means 1 million people plus. Yeah. So this place will be completely packed full tonight. And we're going to put on one heck of a show. You can bet on that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely been a solid day so far, and lots more to come. We're only about not even halfway through this deal, so we're just getting started. We're going to take a short commercial break. Looks like we got a few more racers dropping in, and we'll get to some interviews back in about 60 seconds. So hang tight here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, the Terracross edition of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. We'll be right back.
I'm Polaris rider Levi LaValle, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris Razor XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. This is the Terracross Radio Edition out here, round 1 and round 2 of the 2015 Terracross National Championship, Del Mar, California, the San Diego County Fair. Things going off here, and we're midway through day number 1. We've got the autograph signing, and got Chad Colby on my left. Just got done with Brandon Sims and Chad Ragland. Looks like we got Chris Durant, Daryl Rass sitting down in front of us. How's everything going, guys?
Going great.
Oh, well, we got to get you guys mic'd up there.
There we go.
We're good. I'm sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, it's going really good. I got to go out for practice here, and it was fun. Track's awesome. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah, this venue here at Del Mar is just awesome. The dirt is so pristine. It's really cool to have dual elements of dirt and concrete and all inside too. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely that's what's great about this series. I mean, it's a different it merges so many different disciplines off road. It merges so many different drivers from different walks of life. And I think that's what really makes it exciting and entertaining.
Yeah, it does. And I'm from the snow world, but always have had a passion for anything with motor and wheels. So the Razors. It's just every time I do a Terracross event, I am just blown away with what these machines can actually take. It's absolutely crazy.
Daryl, you've been around this stuff a long time, and just kind of elaborating on what Chris said. These machines, we're all running stock machines. It's amazing, truly, how capable they are.
Yeah, it's really impressive. You can take a car that seriously showed up here 2 days ago, right from the dealer showroom floor, and And we're throwing this on a racetrack with absolutely minimum changes, Right. We're putting some different wheels and tires on it. And, we could do all the same things we're doing with a stock car. I mean, the stuff we're doing is, because of sponsors being involved. But it's amazing, Anybody can buy these cars, and they're not super expensive. And you used to have to build it, and a lot of people didn't have the capability to build a car like this. Well, now you can go buy it reasonably and have fun with it. So it's very cool.
So, Daryl, in all the forms of racing you've done, and you've done a lot, and I've raced with you back in the day and ATV stuff, where does this rank in Daryl's career as far as you've won championships doing a lot of different things? What does Terracross mean to you?
Racing Terracross is completely unique. We beat this like a dead horse. You can go out there from a hero to a zero, and you go right back to a zero, all in the same lap, and which is really cool. It's never over until it's over. That checkered flag is such an important deal. We have to save the car to win, or to even finish for that matter. And at the end of the day, we still have to go hard to win. The talent level here is getting so high. I mean, the names and stuff that are involved with Terracross right now are phenomenal. It's people I never ever thought I'd get to race with, and I'm here racing with them. Everybody's super down to earth, and it's great to be part of it.
Well, we're glad you guys are here. You guys both, I believe, have been here since we started, right? All 3 years. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that's really cool. I mean, got to be friends with a lot of these drivers, and it's really neat to be part of it.
Yeah, very cool. So, Chris, what do you think? I mean, when you compare this to snow and all the crazy, wild, freestyle Winter X Games, riding in the backcountry all over the world now, where's this at in your repertoire of things that you enjoy to do?
Well, really, I think the biggest thing for me is I think a little bit what Daryl said, the level of competition is pretty awesome. And for me to come from a discipline that, I am at the elite level and to come here and watch like an R.J. Anderson come here and where I'm like, man, how could anyone possibly go faster than this? And he's like 4 seconds faster than me, That's really cool. And to see that type of talent pool here and to watch someone who that's what they do for their job, I'm just pumped to be a part of it.
I'm pretty impressed, though, Chris. You've went through practice this year so far with actually not rolling your machine over. Well, see, that's been a staple of you. You know that, right?
See, there was a rolling bet last year, and I definitely won how many times I could get on my lid. And, that's the thing. It's like it's finding that balance of you're on the ragged edge to be fast. And, my goal for this year is I still want to be fast, but you got to take care of the equipment. That's one thing I've definitely learned from Daryl is, it seems like he's always at the end. And I'm like, well, if I just would have backed down my pace just a tick and stayed off the wall, or I would have had a wheel left at the end of the race.
Well, it's funny you say that. I mean, we just saw practice where I don't know how many cars do we have that went over, 4 or 5 at least. And that was guys that were going too much in practice. I mean, taking care of equipment is always a key in racing,
Yep.
But
yeah, it's well, that being said, I mean, there's so much that goes into winning one of these events. I mean, like you said, it's balancing that ragged edge, knowing when you need to push, when to you take a chance, when you save the equipment. It's just I think that's what makes it special, and it's I think it's great, because we're sitting here and we've got a guy that's well versed on snowmobiles, a guy that's well versed on ATVs, UTVs, a guy that races desert racing, and we're all sitting here in razors competing against each other. And I think that's what's cool. So there's really no other motorsport I know of that you can get that mix of guys together and everybody be pretty quick.
And I think that's what's fun about being that it's a spec class too. I mean, we're all in the same vehicle, and once again, Polaris just has done a bang up job of providing a vehicle that can put on a show like this, and like we've beaten to a pulp here, that a consumer can go to a delership and buy one of these.
Finance it even, right?
It's awesome.
Wait, let's clear this up. I mean, these machines this year are 2016s, and they literally showed up here in San Diego yesterday. Yeah, and they're out on the track. I mean, literally, they showed up here yesterday.
The guys were pulling all-nighters, putting these things together.
Putting graphics on them, put some tires on them. I mean, Daryl, my goodness. Yeah. How many hours would you spend on a race bike 10 years ago? It's scary.
It's phenomenal the amount of time you have to put into a race car. I mean, completely tear down, to the ground, build them back up, and countless hours. I mean, 80 to 120 hours is nothing. Maybe by 2 people sometimes, plus engine work and everything else. And that's what's cool. I mean, you can just show up. I mean, my car seriously looked like it came from the showroom because it did yesterday. Now it's got graphics on it. It looks really cool, and we're out there racing it and having fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely a lot of fun. Well, what do you guys expect the rest of this weekend? Obviously, we've just got practice. We haven't even qualified, nothing yet. I mean, what do you guys expect in the rest of the weekend, or rest of the day and tomorrow?
Well, I think the racing is going to be awesome. Just a little bit of practice that we've done. We've only had 4 cars out on the track, so things can get a little spread out. But I think once you get a full field out there, it's going to get dicey. You're going to have to be smart, and you're going to just have to save the equipment. I mean, it's hard to do that, especially when you get out front. When you get out front, you've got 7 dudes hungry behind you that just want to pass you. And how do you save your equipment? So that's kind of I'm going to focus on getting good starts, taking advantage of people's mistakes, and try to work my way up to the front.
Yeah. Well, same question you, Daryl. I mean, what are you expecting?
Chris really hit it there. I mean, obviously the starts are important, but you still have to get there to the end, and obviously you have to save the equipment. So I'd love to start up front and just check out. That's awesome. It's not fun to watch, but it doesn't. I'll take them wins every time. These guys say I'd rather come from the back, but you know what? I'll start up front and just lead the whole race. That's fine with me. I'm good with that. So generally you can save on equipment a whole lot more, but if you have to come through the pack and deal with traffic and stuff, you can definitely pay the price of other people's mistakes out there in a big hurry today. And hopefully that's not the way my day goes, and hopefully I did something in the right place at the right time, and everything works out. So,
Daryl, it looked like from just watching practice, there's some room to pass in places, isn't there?
Yeah, Dana Creech and Luberg built this track, and those guys did a phenomenal job of laying it out. We don't have a lot of room to work with here. We have a pretty tight arena. But you know what? They're putting option lanes out there to make it racy, and that's what makes it neat, because it's not going to be a parade. I guarantee it's not going to be a parade. It's going to be there's so many different lanes and stuff that open up, and it's extremely hard to hit your marks every lap out there because we're on polished concrete with dirt on top. And Chris can relate to this. I mean, it's tough to hit your marks every lap and to be consistent, and that's when you can make your passes.
Well, the one thing too, you notice, you guys have been doing this for a while, and it shows. But there's some people out here that this is their first time in this venue, and I have to tell you, in the previous practice, nobody else included, it shows a little bit. So some of that today, you're going to have to be a little careful, just because of who's around you and what kind of experience you got. But there's some people, quite honestly, it's not bad to follow them, because you can learn a lot from some of these guys that have a lot of history in off-road.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, and it's just like any racing discipline. The more seat time you can have, the better you're going to be. And talking with guys like Ronnie Feist and Twitch, they had ridden a Razor for 10 minutes at their house yesterday, and now they're racing. So it's like, But hey, that's the beauty of Terracross, is that it's we really got a diverse field, and it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree.
For sure. Well, I appreciate you guys taking the time.
Yeah,
and,
thanks, guys.
Good luck out there, and see you in a little bit. I guess we got some heat races going on and some qualifying, right?
Yep.
Keep the streak alive, Chris.
Okay. I'll try.
All right,
good luck, guys. Daryl, good luck.
Thank you.
All right, that was Daryl Rath, Chris Brandt, catching up with them, and talk about that. We've had 4 personalities sit down, and 4 guys from different walks of life, and
it's so funny. Daryl back in the day, has won a lot of ATV championships. We used to have quad terrain cross, whatever that was.
Part of like the great outdoor games, right?
Yeah, we had that, and I actually raced. And Chris, my goodness, he won a Winter X Gold, flipping snowmobiles years ago. So. And it's just fun hanging out with these guys, and they're all having fun. I mean, this to me is what makes really Terracross special, is everybody gets in their airplanes and they fly out here and they bring all their gear, Jim, and they get in their machine and they just go do what they do best and have a great time, and that's what's going on.
Yeah, for sure. It is. It's a great time. Everybody's got a smile on their face. I mean, even the guy like me that, me and a handful of others that have crashed already, we all have smiles on our face. It's like, when do I get back out there? When do I get back out there? And so.
I must admit, the first time that I met you this afternoon was when I went over with my iPad, and I said, hey, Jim, I'm Chad. I'm the announcer here at the series, and I happened to be standing there with my camera and got a good solid 10 or 15 photos. And, that look on your face was like, well, yeah, it's really great. And then it was like, okay, let's take a look at them, and they are fantastic.
But, you know, to be honest with you, you think about auto racing, and it's a lot like baseball. You know, you're going to fail more than you're going to be successful.
That's right. Yeah.
And I think people lose sight of that.
Yeah.
You know, baseball is one of those where you get on base 3 times out of 10, and
maybe,
and
yeah.
and you're an elite level player. And I think racing's much the same. I mean, if you can win 3 times out of 10, you are doing really good.
That's exactly right.
And and I kind of look at it that way. You know, I had this is a 6-race series. If I throw the first one away and it's the first round, well,
Wait a minute. Whoa. We just had practice today.
Yeah,
We haven't even got to racing yet, Jim.
See, the problem is we just had practice, but I've had half a lap. It happened on the first lap. I haven't seen the rest of the course, buddy.
Oh, that's a great point. Wait, stay tuned then.
Yeah, stay tuned, yes. I still haven't seen the back half of the track, so it's definitely...
Oh, Jim, come on. See, that's why you're here, though.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, truly... That's what makes it unique. And you know what? Even the guys we've had here visiting, they're just as jacked up as we are. I mean, truly, it's just a lot of fun, and that's what it's all about. And CBS is going to do a great job bringing this show to air here very soon, and we'll be sure to get I'm sure you'll get that to all your listeners where that'll be.
Yeah,
so.
For sure. We've definitely been promoting that. I do have to say, in my defense, the last time I raced a Razor was up at Winter Terracross, and I led 9 of the 10 laps.
Well, hold on. You are the man.
So
okay.
Well, I'm not going to say that. Let's not go that far, but I will say that in my defense. But anyways, we are going to take a short break. We come back. We're going to, you know what? I think I'm going to snag Lorette and Nickel. She's been around. Down a little bit. She's going to be a good interview. Anyways, we'll be back in about 60 seconds after this break from Polaris Razor.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning Razor XP1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. This is the Terracross radio edition of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. We're out here, round number 1 and 2 of the 2015 Terracross National Championship from Del Mar, California. Got Chad Comey at my left once again, and sitting across from us, Lorette Nickel. How's everything going, Lorette?
Hi, guys. So excited to be here. Thanks so much for grabbing me and having me a part of your show.
I think it's fun because you're like Chad. You've been around the series. I know you were able to call the races last year, and how has this been, seeing kind of the evolution? And I mean, you've been involved in action sports. I mean, Endurocross and Nitro Circus and GRC, Formula Drift. Seeing the different personalities that come in here. I mean, how's that been for you?
I love it. I mean, Chad, we've seen it since the beginning, growing. Right. There's unfortunately one year that I missed, but coming back, this is just growing and growing, and we see the entry list, and what used to be pretty short is now drivers deep, and so really exciting. The speed is picking up. Yes, everyone has the same Razor Polaris. It's evening the field, but some people can just do more with it. Like, did you see Sarah beat the boys?
Listen, Sarah was flying.
Awesome.
I'm telling you.
Awesome.
Flying.
Heck yeah.
There were
for
several
Sarah
of us standing over there going, she needs to.
I'm gonna grab her real quick. You guys
She-
talk.
yeah.
She's walking by, and I'm grabbing her.
She
Yeah, you
needs.
should get
I
her.
we were talking. We like, you know what? We should throw her in another car, and put her out there with the men. I'm telling you, she was flying.
Yeah, well, the ladies, they have a co-driver.
Right.
And so I don't know if the extra weight in the buggies are a factor.
Right.
But, Sarah, come here, lady. Sarah, outstanding job beating the boys. Great job.
Thank you. Yeah, I can tell you the truth. I was super nervous going out for the first time, and everything kept getting delayed, and I was like, man, why are they doing this to me right now? But, after that first lap, you get it down, and, my whole thing in my brain is, the first lap is maybe luck, so you got to have 2 laps.
There
I'm
you
feeling
go.
that way. And then you're like, okay, I'm good to go for the rest of the day.
So it just mellowed right after that. Your
Yeah.
heart rate came down and no problem.
Definitely. And then one of our good friends, Cody Rader's team, they just came on and they're like, hey, we just mentioned you have a new move called the Sarah Scrub. And I was like, what? And it was over the tires. They send you so high in the air.
That's right.
And I just checked up on it, and I just would go super slow and just smooth right over.
And that's fast.
Yeah, it's faster. It's not
Sometimes-
as exciting, but
Well,
Sometimes slower is faster,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Well, can you talk about that first time that you took that jump, the over/under? Because there is a large gap, and I feel that it's bigger than what it was last year. I feel that the
Yeah.
gap is bigger.
The gap is bigger.
It
I
is
would
bigger.
Agree. Yeah.
That jump is it's really one of those things you just had to put in your brain that I'm going and there's no option. So,
But I can tell you this from standing back and just watching everybody at practice, and you were probably in the top 10% of all the drivers, that whatever happens in that car for you, the timing, the setup of the jump, you have it. And you can tell the people that struggle. They're either going way too high or they're nose over. Or they're just – because it takes some finesse to be able to do that.
Definitely.
So-
And in these things, they have so much power. You're going up to it. You're not using the speed that they have.
That's right.
So you have to know when to shut off and check up and
Right.
just give it that little oomph just to get it over.
Now, when are you letting off when you're going off of that jump?
No, in a car, it's kind of like my rule of thumb. I never let off on the lip because I'll send the car into a barrel roll or not a barrel roll, but a endo.
Over it, yeah.
So I pretty much just stay as calm as I can, and I gas off the lip, but I don't come into it too hard. Like in a G out, you want to unload your suspension before you come off the jump, so you just gas it up it.
So we stay away from things like this.
Oh my gosh, dude. That was the craziest thing. There's been 3 gnarly crashes today, including Jim Beaver's.
There is 50 pictures online, including Jim's, of all of this in high resolution, and they're crazy. Check out our Facebook page,
Goodness.
Terracross Championship, and it is absolutely
Have you seen the girls crash?
yeah, it's here.
They go forward and one goes backwards.
Well, hold on a second. We'll show you the pictures. Unfortunately, we can't show that online to you. You mean
They hit together, right? And oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
The two girls were coming up to the tires, and it was the first lap, I believe.
It was.
And Danielle, they're both really awesome girls and good friends of mine. And she was like, man, Shelby just was, really close to me, and she hit the center divider, but then I wanted to pass her, so I just gave it throttle because I wanted to win. And she goes, then we both crashed and flipped. And I was like, oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
That is insane.
And we're just through practice.
Yes.
That's
yes.
Wow. Can you
Have you
guys
guys-
put that on your Instagram?
Yeah, we can. We will.
It's also on UTV Underground. They already posted it.
did.
So if
That's
you want to
awesome.
see it, go there.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
tons of fun. I mean, talking about you though, and you were talking about the finesse and stuff like that, and sometimes you don't use all the speed. I mean, do you feel like your time on a on a motocross bike is definitely transitioned you well?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Those jumps, it definitely, right now, today is where a lot of my motocross, training has come into play. But it took me a long time. When you move into the cars on a dirt bike, you can be so aggressive and you can save yourself and, you can use your body. But in the car, it's okay, this is all about throttle. And so you just have to calm yourself down a little bit and stay collected. And that's where the key is, is just staying calm.
Yeah. And speaking of that, what else is going to be key for standing on top of the podium?
I think definitely, getting out front and just having a smooth race is going to be the key to, getting on top of the box. But I heard that they're inverting. So the faster people in qualifying have to go last. So I believe that the key from that point on is going to have to be just, having a clean race and trying to stay away from people and saving your car.
Right. How easy or difficult is it to pass?
Out here, it's going to be pretty difficult, I think, for sure. You got to have to take some chancy lines. There's that one section where there's 3 lines. So you can, go super fast on the outside, but you can't. You have to, once again, stay calm because you're on concrete and it's super slick. Or you have to go to the inside and do the step-on, step-off, and it's tough in a car because you might preload at the wrong time and it sends you into a flip forward.
Right.
Wow. So. Well, speaking of that cement section, Levi said that he was actually finding it really difficult to adjust to it because he's never raced on anything so slippery, and I kind of giggled when he said that because I thought, well, what about ice? But he's trying to dial it in, and how are you comfortable with that cement part?
From last year, I remembered it. Like, that was one of the biggest things I had to learn for last year, and this year, it's just the same thing. It's just calming yourself down and going slower than you expect. Like, it's not fast. It doesn't look fast, and I'm sure it isn't fast. But in the end, when you're coming out of that corner, it's fast. So
yeah, that's right. I mean, the guys that are going really fast through there, I mean, tires spinning, sliding, that does not equate to a fast time on the clock. Nope. I mean, you can see that when you watch. A lot of those guys are doing what Jim said. Just because you're driving fast does not mean you're going fast. Nope. So.
Yeah.
Well, and I can tell you just from the time I've spent in a rally car, it's it's the same way, and it's true. Sometimes it may look really fast, feel fast in the car, but you're losing so much time. It's just silly,
And those tires on that concrete here, they're not gripping at all. So you're just having to go as slow as you can, just enough to get that gripping. And it's like maybe 1 mile an hour. I'm not even kidding. It feels so slow.
Wow.
Wait a minute. We were watching you. It was faster than that.
It feels slow, though. I know. I'm really pumped. I didn't expect to do so well.
You did really. I mean, seriously, you did very well.
Thank you. I appreciate
Jim's
it.
still just a little bummed because he got a half a lap.
I think your car's. Are you gonna go out right
yes,
now?
Yeah. As soon as we're off air, I'm gonna jump back in. So
I think you're up though.
They just told me I'm like 5th seating group or something.
Okay.
So.
Oh, good.
All right. I was like, wait a minute.
So I'll go and wing it. Wouldn't be the first time, But I've had half a lap. I'll go and qualify with half a lap under me. We'll figure it out,
That's right.
If not, I make it exciting for the fans, and that's what's.
And I'll have my camera ready, Jim, just in case.
You do that, man. We're gonna have GoPros in that sucker this go around.
Yeah.
So, I look at it this way. I go and run a 500-mile desert race in a trophy truck with, at 130 miles an hour, and I've never pre-run it, because in the States we can't. So this is going out of my trophy truck with no pre-running time, and let's go and put
It'll be fine. You'll be fine.
So, we'll figure it out, I know what not to do, and so I've got an advantage there.
One thing that's awesome is really the show that Terracross puts on. And I mean that. Everybody's on stock machines, tons of talent, and it just does. It puts on a great show, and CBS will do a great job with it, and it's exciting to talk about. I mean, it's hard not to be excited.
It is.
But it's so much fun. And look at the caliber of drivers that were put,
That's right.
I mean, one sitting right next to me, Sarah Price, but we have Levi who came out to Heydays last year.
Yep.
But, he told me that he's been thinking about how to do better at this event.
Right.
And here we have Twitch and Ronnie Feist and, the list goes on.
Yeah, you have just everyone, like so many different disciplines. It's really cool that these guys are stepping into these things. It's fun,
Yeah.
It's just cool and a good time.
Yeah, and I was told today that Tanner Faust was really interested
in
jumping into one of these too. So I don't know really where he's going to find that in his insane schedule.
Yeah.
But, between filming for Top Gear, Formula Drift, GRC, and he just won at Daytona, which was rad.
Well, he's fitting in some short course when he's not doing that.
It's crazy.
In a Pro 2. So, I mean, the guy, he's just Tanner is Tanner, you know. It's
just
nuts.
a driver.
And, he's won. He'll drive anything, He's got wheels, let's go.
Yeah. I think that's how it is. When you're a racer, you just want to race anything, really. Like, I realize that's the only thing that excites me, and anything you can race, so...
Well, that's me. I bounce around in the rally world. I, race a trophy truck all the time. And, the thing to race a Razor popped up. And everybody's like, why do you want to go do that? I'm like, it's got 4 wheels and a steering wheel. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I don't care. Good, bad, it's still I'm behind the wheel and it's fun.
Yep.
So, I think that's the way. It's same thing with you. You're on a dirt bike. You're doing Terracross. Now you're going to be doing road racing.
Yeah. My first race is next weekend, and I haven't even driven the car, really. I drove it one time, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm a road racer. But I have to get my first race under my belt, and I'm excited. It's a whole new venture and a learning curve, and it can only make me better as an athlete, so it's fun.
Where's that race going to be?
At Willow Springs.
Oh, awesome.
Wow. Yeah.
So I don't know much about it. What's going on there for you?
So Toyota of Escondido recently picked me up and wanted me to drive their Scion FRS. So, yeah, they just randomly wanted just ask me, and I was like, of course.
Of course.
Wow.
That's
awesome. Good for you.
Yeah, so I'm taking it to the street, and it's going to be exciting. I'm sure I am not going to know what exactly to do at first, but I hope to get it down, and I'm going to do it in 2016 too, so 2015 will be practice.
Okay.
Great.
How much time have you had behind the wheel?
None.
That's
sweet.
Absolutely none.
But you said you jumped in the car?
I jumped in it and drove it for 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, on the street, at stoplights and stuff like that.
So 5 minutes going into the event.
She was really quick to the local grocery store.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I came back with a big smile, that's for sure.
That's so cool.
Nice. So how many times are you going to be in that this year?
This year I'll probably be in it 5 times.
Okay.
And then next year will be the start of the new series, and then hopefully be in the series run if nothing comes into conflict. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Good deal.
That's awesome, Sarah.
Thank you.
How fun. Good for
you guys will have to come out and join
for
us.
sure.
It'll be fun.
Awesome. Well, I know we got to jump back in some racers here in a bit, but it's been fun catching up with everybody. And, Sarah and Lorette, I guess we all got jobs we got to go do here in a little bit. So, but, I appreciate you guys stopping by, and we'll let you guys check out. And Chad and I will close this deal up here.
That sounds really good.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Sarah. Good luck. And, Lorette, we'll see you, guess, on TV here in a little bit.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you, guys. All right, that was Sarah Price, Lorette Nickel. You and I sitting here, and I guess we got some more racing to go to.
Here's what I'm going to say, Jim. Let's just hope when we come back here and visit some more that you've completed more than a half a lap. Let's make that a goal, buddy. You got this.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get it dialed in, and, it's one of those things. Even like Levi said earlier, is even Sarah said, she's like, you get 2 laps in, so you do 1, and you're like, all right, I made it. Yeah. She's like, you do 2, and then it's like, okay, I got this.
Well, the other thing, too, is I think and you're a racer. You've been doing it your whole life. What's interesting is you need some seat time. You get out there with other guys, and you learn the learning curve is straight up. You get behind some people, you see what's going on, and all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, I got this. It comes really fast.
Yeah,
so
and it happens to everybody. And had a bad day. What do you say?
Well, not yet.
Well, I didn't have a bad day.
That's right.
I had a bad start to the day. Right?
There you go.
Worst case, I'm sure there's a cold one waiting for me this evening
yeah,
somewhere.
There you go. Hey, let's be sure to remind all the listeners. Go check out the social media page there at Facebook, Terracross Championship. Oh, my gosh. We're piling on videos and a lot of pictures and stuff. And be sure to check that out as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Terracross Championship on Facebook. Terracross got Instagram and Twitter set up. The website, I know UTV Underground's doing a bunch of coverage.
Yeah.
Obviously, we'll have results on Monday and hopefully some winners on air with me. And it's great. I know we're really, I think, only a few weeks away from the air dates on CBS Sports as well. So we'll definitely get those out on social media and the websites and keep it rolling. But it's been fun chat. I guess we'll be doing this a few times this year. So definitely looking forward to it. And, thanks for all the fans for tuning in. Thanks to Mystic, Polaris, and everybody who made this happen.
You bet. Sounds great.
All right. We'll see you guys later. This is Jim Beaver on behalf of Chad Colby, Down and Dirty Radio Show. This is the Terracross Radio Edition out here at the Del Mar Fair, round 1 and 2 of the 2015 Terracross National Championship. And we'll see you back at you next couple of days, Monday, with another edition of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Thanks for tuning in. And as always, game on.